Hello everyone, this is Sarah Marie with SM Fitness Dance and Wellness, and finally, which I feel like every video is going to start off with, and finally, I am doing a vlog or documenting my program regimen, how I got to my goals, how I built my program, and just kind of giving you guys a peek of how I would do a training program with you all. A little bit about me. So my name's Sarah Marie. I'm owner, founder of SM Fitness Dance and Wellness. Quick titles: I am a physical therapist assistant, a licensed massage therapist, a personal trainer, a certified personal trainer, and nutrition coach. I am also a dancer and a choreographer. If you want to know a little bit more about me, my history, and a little bit more about my business, check out my intro video. I will have the link in the description. Okay, so this whole vlogging, I said this, I'm pretty sure I posted it on my social medias, that I will record or I will post phase 1 of my program. I did not. The reason why I did not is because I wanted to do more like a real-time type of vlog, or just document it more real time, meaning don't do the whole program and then post it, because by that time, even though I did write notes, I'm gonna forget the innards and some of the like real things I'd like to share with you guys. So I'm going to do phase 2 and I'm gonna document it and post it along the way. This also, again, gives you a little peek of how it would be training with me. So just more of an authentic view of, you know, how we create goals, how we program build, how I made up the outline, and then the results from that. And then of course you get to see a sneak peek of how SM Fitness Dance and Wellness is running and is growing every day. All right, let's get down to it. You want to train with me, or you're a little bit curious about SM Fitness Dance and Wellness and the programs I provide. What we will do is a free consultation. Emphasis on free. About 15 minutes, a phone call, just to discuss what you're looking for, just to get to know a little bit more about you, to see if we are a great match. Why I say a great match, y'all, if you have trained before, you know, we all have different personalities, and that's okay. And I want to make sure that you feel comfortable when I'm training you, vice versa. I feel comfortable training you. I feel confident that I can get you to point A to point B. For example, if you're trying to become a bodybuilder, I am not versed in that world. I do not know one thing about it. I mean, I know a few things, but I am not trained, or I don't have any specialized certifications in that. And I would be real with you and say, I cannot do that for you. Let's find somebody who can. All right, we've done the free consultation. We are a great match. What I would do then is send you the intake form. It's a very simple form, just personal information, a pre-program build, meaning you kind of sketch out how you think the program would be great for you. So like specific days, specific time frames, things like that, and initial goal setting. I will also have you write down some of the obstacles that you may be met with the initial program build or goals that you have set. You fill it out, you send it back. At that point, we will do the meetup. I'm still trying to figure out what the name is going to be, because that would be the initial consultation. We have the free one, and then the one where you and I meet again, either face-to-face or virtually, depending on your preference. What we will do is we'll dive deeper into your intake form, into your pre-program build, where we kind of sketch out a little more on how your program will be, as well as dive into your goals. Make sure if we need to revise them a little bit, make them more realistic or more achievable within the time frame that you are wanting, as well as discussing your obstacles. I also like to talk to you guys about your likes and dislikes when it comes to the gym, if you had any prior training experiences and how that went, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to provide a positive experience with every title that I utilize. Physical therapy, massage, training, nutrition, dance, all of it. I am trying to always provide a positive experience, and the goal is to do that with you as well. After that meetup, what we will do is agree on a start date, and then between then and that start date, I am creating your program. Okay, so that is just the personal training aspect. If nutrition is involved, it's a little bit different. We do the free consultation the same way. Then I send you an additional intake form that is tailored a little bit more to nutrition, your preferences, history, things like that. So another difference between the personal training and nutrition. Between the free consultation and the meetup, I will have you log your eating habits, what you eat, what you drink, all that good stuff. I will have you log that in any way you want, whether it's writing, whether it's, putting it in an app. So when we do meet up, I look over that so I can get a little overview of how your nutrition status is currently. And then the rest is the same. We go over goals, we make sure they're realistic, but I just have a little more idea, or I have more of an idea of how your nutrition status is now so that I can better create a program tailored to you. All right, so we did the free consultation, we did the meetup, then we are going to set a date for assessment time. This is for personal training only. When it comes to the assessment for nutrition, I pretty much did that when I check your log and then I'm creating your program. When it comes to the personal training, we set a date for the initial assessment. The initial assessment is just a series of tests or activities just to get a baseline of your current strength, a baseline of how you move, so your form with certain exercises or with certain movements, so I can see your base and then go from there. And if there's any specific goals, for example, I want to be able to lift X amount of weight, I will do a lifting assessment to see how much you can lift at this time and how you look when you lift. The initial assessment, again, is to create a baseline so we know where you're at, and every time we do like a reassessment, we see where the improvements are, whether that be form, numbers, or physique, which we will go into after this. The way to assess physique: pictures. Very simple. Front, side, back in different poses, or a video, which I'll show you guys my phase 1 original, like day 1 physique versus the end of phase 1. I like to do that because you can visually see changes, but I also like to do other things. Some people like the tape measure, which I will do, and then I always recommend a smart scale as well so that you can see any physiological changes to your body, whether you may see it visually or not. In my opinion, I think progress is progress, whether that be physical, visual, or physiological. So no growth is linear, and that's something I will always spout. No growth is linear, but progress is progress. And I love to document that so that we can celebrate these moments of success. All right, so that is how for you guys it would go. Now I'm the guinea pig. I skipped half of that. I'm talking to myself. Sarah, what do you want to do? I want to do it like this and that. So what I did was I did create goals, short-term goals and long-term goals, because phase 2 is going to be 12 weeks. I redid an outline of how I want my week to go, how I can visually see the tasks that I need to do each week. And then I also created like a rotation of certain body parts when it comes to working out. That's how it works for me, and that's how I'm going to do it. One thing I'd like to share, the biggest difference for me between phase 1 and phase 2 is not making everything so specific. For example, go to dance Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If I don't go to dance on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that kind of stresses me out, and I feel like that I have not completed a task that I needed to do, and that's just how my brain works. Life happens. Either, a dance class has changed, so I'm unable to go because of that, or I'm not feeling that well. I've done a lot of other great things like working out or running or meal prepping, and I just can't get to dance. Sometimes that stresses me out. So instead of making it a hard fact for me to have this specific day, you have to do this, I did more of averages. For example, instead of dancing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe dance 2 to 3 times a week, so that if you don't hit that 3 times mark, you are fine. You are fine. Again, I want to do a quick disclaimer as well. This is my program. This is not going to be your program at all. Just like I treat my patients, just like I massage my clients, everyone is significantly different. Everyone is so unique. You may have the same goals, if you will. You may have, the same trigger points in certain areas, but that doesn't mean I'm going to approach it the exact same way, because everybody's body is different. So when it comes to my program, please understand that this is for me personally, and when it comes to you, it will be for you. All right, so I will share when it comes to phase 1 where I started and where I ended. And one thing I want to note, that where I ended, I kept that weight. something that's very important to me that I learned throughout my personal training and especially my nutrition journey is when you lose weight or when you're trying to change your physique, it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be long-term, not a short-term effect, because that will be more of a mental blow to you. Okay, so end of phase 1, beginning of phase 2, my weight is 133 pounds. I will show you guys when I weigh myself again. I like to weigh myself on specific days, and today is not that specific day, but what I will do is show you guys the end of phase 1 and then phase 2, the beginning, if you will. But now I want to go over my goals, my short-term goals and my long-term goals. But I want you guys to understand where my base is. Okay, so I'm reading because I can't remember all these goals. I have it written down so I can look at it every day. But as far as my personal training goals, I want to decrease my weight. I'm currently 133 pounds. I would like to get to about 125 plus or minus. You know, I'm pushing it. I am pushing it. I am a full-grown adult. I'm in my 30s. So I know that some of this is achievable, but some of it may not. I may not hit that 125 exactly. But my goal is to be in the mid to high 120 range. So if I do approximately 125 pounds, I will have lost a total of 8 pounds in phase 2. I want to adjust my body physique, so just tone up or lean up overall. I want to improve my flexibility and mobility and stability required for dance. So I just want to get as close to the mobility that I had when I was younger or surpass that. When it comes to my short-term goals, that means within the 6 out of the 12 weeks, the halfway mark. I want to maintain a schedule. Again, I said this before, it's a little bit different compared to phase 1. I want to go to the gym about 3 to 4 times a week. I want to dance, so go to a dance class about 1 to 2 times a week. I want to meal prep 2 times a week, and then run/walk or do interval training about 2 to 3 times a week. So my goal is to get that flow going. I would like to lose during during the short-term goal, the 6-week mark, I would like to have lost about 3 to 5 pounds. Again, I'm trying to make it sustainable. I'm pushing it with the words, but you can lose a lot of weight if you do certain techniques that may or may not be healthy, but that doesn't mean you're going to keep that weight off. So 3 to 5 pounds, I'm really pushing it with 5, but 3 pounds is a more realistic way, or a realistic goal, if you will, by the end of those 6 weeks. So current weight, 133 pounds. My goal weight with that 6-week mark would be between 128 to 130 pounds. I would like to make noticeable improvements in my flexibility seen in my videos and or photos. What I will do is record me just doing basic stretches or basic movements that showcase flexibility either in the dance world or just for me personally, so I can see how I look now versus how I will look in that 6-week mark. I would also like to maintain my current strength level. So I did write down with certain exercises where my weight was, and I wrote down some additional details, meaning, you know, my form was failing at this point, or I noticed some compensation during like a squat or something. So I either want to maintain that and address those details noted so that when I do it again, I either went back to my current strength or I'm at the strength that I saw, but my form has dramatically improved. Those are my 6-week goals. Your short-term goals will be determined by the length of your program. The short-term goals will always be from the beginning to the halfway point. I also want to note out the number of short-term goals differ from each person. So I may have a certain amount, you may have a certain amount. It's not like you have to hit 6 short-term goals. it is all individualized. For my long-term goals, which will be from week 6 to the end of the program, week 12. Let's get into that. I will have improved my strength. So my goal is to increase my strength by 10 to 15 pounds with each type of exercise. So I'm trying to get strong. I feel like I'm pretty solid right now, but I'm just trying to get a little bit more stronger. I'm trying to get a little more strong. I'm just trying to improve my strength. I would like to lose an additional 3 to 5 pounds depending where I ended at that 6-week mark. But at the end of the day, my goal is to be around 125 pounds. I want to see continued improvements with my flexibility as seen in the videos or in the photos that I take throughout my personal journey. I would also like to see a physique change. So I want to achieve a slight tone overall when it comes to my arms, my legs, my abdominals, and my back. Those are my personal training goals for my individualized program. Now let's break it down when it comes to the nutrition goals. The overall change or improvement that I would like to do is to add more fruits and vegetables to each meal. I can do meat and rice all day. That's great, but I would like to add a little more fruits and vegetables for a more well-rounded, nutritious meal plan. So for my short-term goals between the first day and 6 weeks or week 6, I would like to create 3 to 5 meals, including meats without assistance. So quick about me. Nutrition has been the greatest title that I've earned because I learned so much about the importance of nutrition, and I didn't know how to cook. I know I'm kind of like calling myself out, but it is what it is. I did not know how to cook before being a nutrition coach. As I did phase 1, I put myself out there or in the kitchen, if you will, and I learned how to cook. Just me being more confident in the kitchen and understanding, what it takes for things to be cooked and what it takes for things to be cooked and taste good. Something I'm very proud of, especially when I got my nutrition coach certification. And I truly believe that is why I am able to keep this weight that I'm at now is because of nutrition. It truly is a huge chunk of the health overall, a huge chunk of your training or of your strengthening or health journey. So that's why I just wanted to point out without assistance from my husband, because at first I was like, dude, help me out. I don't know what's happening and I don't want to poison us both. So is to create an additional 3 to 5 meals, including meats without the assistance of my husband. I want to create 3 to 5 sides or salads that involve fruits and vegetables with each meal. And then I want to create another 3 to 5 sweets or snack options. You may hear me say additional here and there is because phase 1, it was to create 3. And then the second chunk of phase 1 was to create another 3. So I did end up learning how to create 6 meals and 6 sweet options within phase 1 that I'm very proud of. When it comes to my long-term goals, so from week 6 to 12, for nutrition, pretty much the same. Create an additional 3 to 5 meals, so 6 to 10 meals total that I have learned, I have cooked or made up, and it tastes good, and I can document it with confidence. The goal is to create that without my husband's assistance. So all me. Create an additional 3 to 5 sides or salads that involve fruits and vegetables. And then the same thing, an additional 3 to 5 sweets or snack options. And there you have it with that. Those are my short and long-term goals when it comes to personal training and nutrition. All right, so I'm gonna show somewhere on this screen as well my general outline of how I want my week to look. I want my weeks really to look. It looks overwhelming. I'm a visual person, and again, as I said before, it is not set in stone. If it's written on here, for example, run, walk, gym, and dance, one of them might not be achieved because if dance is 1 to 2 times a week, okay, do it 1 to 2 times a week. If you don't get it on this day, you get it on these other days. So this is my general outline. I want to make sure I have some running in there. I want to make sure I have some gym time in there. And then of course, I want to make sure I have some dance time in there. There are going to be a few days where I just stretch and I fast. This is another disclaimer. As a nutrition coach, I am not allowed to recommend or to tell you to fast. So this part, I cannot do this for you, but I can do this for myself. I can give you general knowledge about it, but that's as far as I go. All right, so I usually do a 5-2 fast, meaning 5 days out of the week I eat, 2 days out of the week I either don't eat, or textbook says about 500 to 600 calories is what you can eat in those fast days. I do that for personal reasons. It's not physique. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, you trying to get to 120 and be a stick? That's impossible. I can't look like a stick. I am thick, baby. I'm thick. But no, it is not because of physique. It is solely because of how my metabolism is, how my stomach runs. And I've realized that is what helps my stomach move. I don't have to take medications. I don't have to go to, doctors, because I have found a solution for my stomach. Again, disclaimer, that is my life. That is how my body runs. So I can, in confidence, incorporate these 5-2 fasting days into my program regimen. I've been doing it for about a year now. I have not had any health effects from it. So I'm sharing this with you guys to be transparent on how I eat, how I found my flow with nutrition. But I also have to be honest and have to stay within the rules of all my titles. I cannot tell you to do that. So this is all just for, sharing my journey. But when it comes to your journey, I can provide you information, but I cannot tell you to do that. That is going to have to be your individual, like your journey without me or with a medical professional. A few other things that I want to point out for my program specifically. As I said before, I do have certain days or like a rotation when it comes to body parts. I feel like that works for my body the best, where I break it up. I don't do like Mondays is always leg days. Some people do that. Fan-freaking-tastic. And if that works for you and your program after we've discussed that, fan-freaking-tastic. But for me, I have a rotation. So for my rotation, I do legs or glutes, chest and back, full body, abs/core, and arms/shoulders in rotation. So whatever day that falls on, that is what I do. And another big difference between phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 was actually no gym. No gym involved, just my house and the things that I have at home, which is a good amount, but it's not like an in-home gym. So Bosu, kettlebells up to 20 pounds, and then dumbbells up to 15 pounds. I was able to lose a good amount of weight with all of that. In the future, I may actually share and showcase phase 1 so that you guys can do phase 1, my phase 1, if you would like. All right, back on topic. I get off topic all the time. The difference between phase 1 and phase 2 is in the gym. So we'll have a mixture, but I do want to say that I will be incorporating machines that you see at the gym versus just free weights or TheraBands that you can have at home. I will also have phase 2 alternating between toning, so higher reps and low weight, versus straight strengthening, which will be lower reps and higher weight, so that I get a good balance of strengthening and then toning up to achieve one of my goals in having an overall tone up or a little bit tighter in the body. And there you guys have it, y'all. That is my program in a nutshell, my beginning journey, my outline of my journey in a nutshell, and a little sneak peek of how it would happen with you. Again, it will be individualized, so your program will not look like my program. If it does, that means we might as well be the same person, have the same life journey and life goals. But as far as like the free consultation, the meetup, the initial assessment when it comes to personal training, and then, logging your food intake for me to assess your nutrition habits, and then creating a nutrition program, that is how it will roll for you. After all of that, after the first physical assessment when it comes to personal training, it is all individualized from there. But at least you get to see what a program could look like, or just the gist of a program when it comes to training with me and SM Fitness Dance and Wellness. This is just the first part. I'm still not sure what to call it because it's not an intro video. The intro video is who I am and what my business is. But this is the pre-program build or pre-program insight, if you will, before I start recording my workouts. I start sharing, how I feel after the workouts, or just, topics that I'd like to discuss when it happens right on the spot, so that you can get a generalization of how working out truly is. I wish it was perfect. I wish it was linear, but life is real. Things really happen. And I know with phase one, I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about that I'll probably experience all over again and share it with you guys. If you are interested in a free consultation with me, I will have my contact information in the description below, and I look forward to speaking with you. My intro video talking about me and my business will be in the description, but a quick rundown so you know what I am about. When it comes to custom programs, I will provide 16 custom programs or services, including massage, personal training, nutrition coaching, and dance technique. So my journey right now when it comes to more personal training and nutrition coaching, I have all sorts of things. So if you have any questions, comment below or contact me so that we can find the right program for you. Keep your eyes open for my Patreon. I am planning to create that. That will be the segue between my free content, which will be on YouTube, to my goal being membership services on my website, which I will be providing 34 different classes and programs for you all. And then of course, if you want the free content, please consider subscribing to my channel and like this video and comment below what you would like to see on my channel. I hope you enjoyed getting to know more about how our interaction would be if you train with me, and give you a little bit of insight on Project Guinea Pig Phase 2. I'm the guinea pig. This is Phase 2 of my program. So you can get a little sneak peek or like behind the scenes of how I do my work, to me, and how SM Fitness Dance and Wellness is evolving behind the scenes. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, bye.